So tonight's discussion, as advertised, is going to be around loneliness, which I asked on the last video for people to send through any issues that they were suffering from, and we would look for some solutions for that. So I got a couple of messages specifically around people who are feeling lonely. Now, loneliness is it's a very close feeling to apathy. A lot of people feel lonely after a loss in their life. But let's start at the start and go through this, my perception on loneliness, causes of it, solutions, and symptoms from loneliness as well, because it can be a ground for depression to come about later on in life. So when we're with groups, when we're with other people, we're socializing, even in the workplace, in the fitness suite, in the clubs, then we don't feel that alone. A lot of people really enjoy others' company. They don't like to be on their own. They feel very agitated, and because of today's pandemic, a lot of people are feeling lonely. But saying that, we also have people who will feel lonely when they're in a crowd. They will even feel lonely sitting with their own family. So where does that come from? Well, let's look first. If you're with a crowd, you're with your social group where you don't feel alone. From that group, you're getting a sense of safety, which is the highest human intention. We all want to feel safe. We all want and have a need to survive. There's safety in numbers. And human beings always have to be part of a group. This starts at a very young age. When I'm speaking about this at workshops, I'll take it right back to my perception is it starts in nursery school or primary school. I'm very curious about my work, and I'm always looking to go into it deeper and understand it and experience it. I will question everything. I will analyze everything. I don't just accept courses I've done. I don't accept theories from the so-called experts out there unless I've tried and tested it and questioned it, which is what you should do as well. Too many people are bluffed into thinking that certain theories, certain strategies are the be all and the end all. And this is where a lot of people get taken on with these courses that sell you a secret for success, a secret for a happy life in a couple of days. So my perception of this looking for safety in groups comes from back in your childhood when you are being programmed as a little human, little person in your parents' house. They are always rewarding you. They're always giving you recognition. They give you lots of unconditional love. So as a child, we have a perception that everybody likes me and I'm great. So then we're taken from the parents' house into our first stage of education. It can be preschool, nursery school, or primary school, depending on the child. Suddenly you're going in with this perception that everybody likes you, that you're safe, that you get your sense of achievement, your recognition, and then bam, other children may turn around and be nasty to you or say, we don't want to play with you. Suddenly confusion has kicked into the nervous system, and the child is thinking, well, I'm not that loving person, not everybody likes me, and they don't feel safe. So the first thing they do is look for people who like them or other children who are like them, and they've found their first group in society where because there's always safety in numbers. You look at society in a whole, we have to be part of a group, whether it's in the street with other kids, In school you will get into groups as well. In the office, in the workplace, you will have your own friends, your own groups. Sports clubs are groups. Even people go to prison, they have to find their group to feel safe. Politics, that's a group as well. So this is programmed into us from a very young age. So that's where the safety comes from. The other thing, once you're in your group, unconsciously you need to be safe in that group. So you need recognition from that group. You have to be achieving the specific objectives of that group. So if it's a sports club, you need to be seen to be doing well. You need to be keeping up with the team, or you're at a risk. You're at a risk of sorry, but somebody, I don't know how they're able to call in on these live shows, but it knocks off the recording. So as I said, you need your recognition within the group. You need to have your sense of achievement. You need to be achieving what the group's achieving as well. So this is where we get this safety. This is where we don't feel alone in groups, because they're satisfying our basic human needs of safety and survival, of recognition, of achievement, and of purpose. Okay. So certain people, as I said, can be in a group and feel alone. These can be people with a low self-esteem. These can be people who have perceived themselves to be very different. Maybe the individual has a disability, maybe they have an illness, maybe again just their perception is they're not as good as everybody else in the group, so they feel alone. Or the person could be suffering depression. That's a side effect of depression, where there is no rapport and emotional connection. So a lot of people, especially when they get into neurotic depression, the deepest stage of depression, they don't feel much. They're actually observing, as if they're observing life through a television set, because they've suffered so much psychological pain that the unconscious just numbs them up. It cuts off a lot of the emotions. But I'm not going into that tonight. That's a whole subject on its own. So a lot of people who feel isolated, they feel alone, they want to change their state, because feeling lonely is just a feeling. As I've said in previous recordings, the emotions are just feelings. So feeling lonely is just a feeling as well, and it has to be changed. If you're not using the techniques that I've been teaching you, then like most people who want to change state and have no idea that it can be done internally, what they will do is try to do it externally. It can be comfort eating, it can be alcohol, it can be prescription drugs, it can be many things, but when that wears off, they're back to the original feeling of feeling lonely. Okay. So these people need to internalize and go over the techniques that I've taught about replacing emotions. Okay. So as I said, self-image is a big cause of loneliness. A low self-image, lack of knowledge on how to change your own state. Because there's times where we're all going to feel lonely, especially after a loss or a death. Can be somebody moving to another country. I have a lot of friends who moved from Poland and the Czech Republic to Northern Ireland, and they felt lonely, very confused at the start. Very brave thing for them to actually consider to start and actually do, and they've done well. But at the start, when you're going through change or you're going through a loss, then there will be that initial confusion. You can feel lonely. And again, going back to what I said earlier, you look for your group. So a lot of people, again, when they move to different countries, they look for people who are from their home country, and they'll move into the area. Even as simple as going on holidays, what's the first thing that people from here do when they go to a foreign country? They look for an Irish bar. Why? They think it's going to be full of Irish people. It's not. It's usually full of Germans for some reason. I don't know why. So we'll always be drawn back to them initial instincts. So as I said, don't always rely on the group for not feeling lonely. You have to get used to your own company. That comes from self-knowledge. That's about building your self-esteem, building your self-belief, building your self-knowledge. That's the only way that will come about. If you do not know who you are, why would you believe in yourself? Why would you believe in your own ability to deal with hardship in life? Why would you believe in your own ability to come out at the other end feeling better? Why would you believe in your own ability to do anything in life if you don't believe in yourself? So that's why there has to be the foundation, is self-development. All these loneliness, depression, fear I spoke about, people with anger issues, it's all common. It all originates from self-esteem. So I was talking about this earlier to a friend on the telephone. He's in the same type of profession, and I think a lot of us have had to reassess where we are now from this pandemic. We're getting a lot of time on our own to think, to look at. A lot of things have been taken away from us. A lot of things. Some people have lost an awful lot. Their life has just stopped. They've had a routine, especially a lot of business owners. It's their life, and they're working twice the hours of everybody else, and then suddenly, bam, it stops. So they're having to deal with change and loss. So, but they're saying to me, it's not hitting them as hard because they know everybody's going through this at the moment. It's not just them. The rest of the world isn't just carrying on the way it was. Everything seems to be froze. So I think we are getting time to reassess and to look at ourselves and to look at our professions, our careers, our families, our relationships, our hobbies. One thing I've taken away from this, and I've decided, I've been asked for years to do it, I've never done it. I'm actually going to teach my program. I'm going to train up coaches to go out there and deliver my specific program. I've always been asked by life coaches, psychologists, counsellors, even PTs to teach my own specific program. So that's number one on the list. I'm going to train up coaches. I'm going to interview them. I'm not going to just teach this to everybody, because again, a lot of people have been, you'll see people taking my stuff and firing it out there and throwing bits and bobs. You have to be trained properly in anything in life. It'd be like me doing a weekend workshop on massage and calling myself a physiotherapist. It would have to be done over 6 months or a year. Even the applied kinesiology, because with this, every day they're bombarding people on the news. So many are dying. You know, this thing could wipe us out. And you're thinking, well, what knowledge am I going to take with me? What have I not passed on? What have you not passed on? What are you wasting time with? What are you not sharing as an individual? What are you not sharing with your kids? Because like anybody else, you have specific knowledge that you've accumulated over a lifetime. So what are you doing with it? Because we can't take it with us. That's the only reason I wrote my books. I'd never planned on writing books. The first book I ever wrote was when Jackie, my wife, was in a coma, and I was told she was going to die. and I couldn't work. And in them days, 80% of my work was with dancers in America and Canada. So I thought, well, I can't work with them, but I want to put the message and I want to put the teachings in a book. And I wrote a book with the help of some friends, helped me set it out, designed covers, and got them sold in every country in the world. Every book I've wrote has been from ideas on how to put my work and leave it. So when I'm pushing up the daisies, I will still be helping people. That's my perception of my books. People can always read that. Same as my recordings, same as my audios, which I have to do a lot more of, by the way. And I need to put my whole course, the detailed specific course, the tools for a better life on video, and a proper workbook. So again, assessing yourself. If you're finding it hard to get through the day, start working on yourself. That's why I asked at the start, before I began these, I asked, do you want to do a personal development program online with me, or did you want to do something on stress and anxiety, meditation for stress and anxiety? Everybody went for meditation. Why? Because you wanted to get rid of your stress and your anxiety. But the meditation, you can take that away. Meditation will take the symptoms away every time you do it, but they'll keep coming back. But when you learn proper personal development that's going to enhance your own performance, it will always keep your stress levels down. It will lift your resilience. It will lift your self-belief. At the end of the day, and I think I mentioned it in other recordings, if you're feeling stress in your nervous system, that's your nervous system communicating with you. You can't deal with something. That's all stress is. It's a feeling saying, I can't deal with this. And if you're feeling that under any circumstance, in that instant that you're feeling that, that's telling me you forget who you are, or you never knew who you were. You've never looked at your own resources. You've never learned how powerful you actually are. Not just your body that performs over 5 million functions per second, but your mind. It's phenomenal, the workings of it. I'm not going to go into it here. That's not my job. To educate is to draw out. If you want to take this serious and take yourself serious, go and learn more about yourself. I'm only giving you all wee snippets and bits and bobs on these videos. The meditation is a powerful, same as the self-hypnosis, it's a powerful technique, but it's only a technique to take what you're doing on the surface to a deeper level, to the subconscious mind, to start reprogramming that part of the mind. How do you know when it's working? When your behaviours change, when you start to feel different, when your outcomes change, when your health changes, when your habits change. We all have habits. We're run by habits. You'll always tie the same shoelace first. You'll always fold your arms the same way. If you do that, feel very awkward, because you're actually doing it the way you do it most of your life. So in the same way of doing this, it feels a bit awkward. I would have to do that every day, and every time I fold my arms for this to start feeling comfortable. It's like getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth. You'll always use your right hand or your left hand, if you're right or left-handed. Try and get up and use the other hand. Feel how awkward it is. That's just natural. That's what it's going to feel like when you're trying to ingrain a new habit, a positive habit into your life. If you want to lose weight, if you need to stop eating specific foods, it will feel awkward. Okay, it will feel like brushing your teeth with the opposite hand. That's okay. It's supposed to feel like that until you practice it, until you ingrain those new habits that you want in your life. If you want to stop smoking, same thing. You have to replace it with what you believe you're getting out of smoking. And most people think that smoking relaxes them. It doesn't relax them. It's a deep breathing. If I'm stressed and I pretend I'm smoking and I take, if I continue that breathing for, I don't know how long does a cigarette last, 4 or 5 minutes. If I breathe like that for 4 or 5 minutes, I'm going to feel very, very, very relaxed. The cigarette companies know that. It's a big con. They know that you will smoke when you feel stressed. So what do? They stress you out by putting a photograph on the cigarette packet of somebody's teeth that's fell out, or black lungs. You see the photograph, stresses you out. Your subconscious mind is, oh, well, it associates a cigarette to relaxation, the deep breathing. Okay? Nicotine it's not even that strong of a drug. It doesn't waken you up out of your sleep, the cravings, like other drugs. Most of it's psychological. So these are just some examples, but this stuff is not a secret. You can get a lot of it anywhere. Some of you probably read a lot of books on personal development. You can get lots of books on meditation. YouTube is all the experts in the world on it. Yet, if you're just watching YouTube videos, then if that worked, we would all be perfect. We would all be experts. We would all be millionaires. A lot of it's nonsense. It has to be practiced. Habits have to be replaced, and you have to continually build on yourself. It's as simple as that. Anybody who tells you anything less or tells you there's a secret, alarm bells should be ringing in your head. So, getting back to our subject of loneliness, it's just a feeling. That's the origins of it. Okay? It doesn't matter how many people you're with. If you're not comfortable in your own skin, in your own company, then you can still feel lonely with other people. And you can't be with people all the time. Look what's happening at the moment. Some people are the opposite. Some people enjoy their own company. Some people have lots of good habits. I haven't been into my mum. I've been with her every day. Haven't been in, must be 3 weeks now. We have a cup of tea through the window with her, and she said she's having a ball. She's baking, she's knitting, and she's getting peace and quiet. So there you go. So courses for horses. So so loneliness would be at the lower scale. Remember, I done the scale of emotions. If you missed that, go back on the videos or go on my YouTube channel. All these videos and other videos are on my YouTube channel, and if you subscribe to the channel, then you'll see every time a new video is added to it. But as you go through the scale of emotions, excuse me, loneliness will be just down there with apathy and depression. Round, it's a very it's a very low vibration, and it's a very natural feeling as well. At times we go through the scale of emotions constantly in our life. It's only dangerous if you get stuck there. Okay, these emotions, as I said before in previous videos, they are not supposed to be a resident in your body. They're only a visitor. An emotion will come up sometimes, but it comes up because it wants to leave. Simple as that. So that'll do us for tonight. Once again, any questions on this, any other subjects, if you'd like to know more about the personal development, how you can actually start it and go ahead and work on your own, give you something to do in the house, I can actually put up some basic PDFs on the page, and you can print them off or copy them out and start a wee journal on yourself. So by the time we're all allowed out again, things return to normal, you'll be all flying. You'll be all motivational speakers and life coaches. So let me know, and until then, tomorrow night, as I say, Send me questions, send me any issues you're looking solutions for. But back to basics, back to working on the most important thing in your life is to work on you. Okay, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.